UFC 13's main event has just been announced, and the co-main event. The main event being Pereira and Ankalaev, as you can see, and GEATHJE versus Hooker, as you can also see, as well. Topuria Volkanovski 2 is in the works, apparently, according to Fight Plug, and Edwards versus Della Maddalena is also in the works, as well as the co-main event being BLACHOWICZ versus ULBERG. Great fights have been announced. Let's go on to Pereira versus Ankalaev. This fight is closer than people think. People just think Ankalaev's going to take him down and just choke him out or something. But the thing is, if you watch, like, even the BLACHOWICZ fight, which is ironic because it's just been announced he's fighting ULBERG, even in the BLACHOWICZ fight, he put the best performance against Pereira so far in a super close decision that he could have won if he literally just happy-shotted Pereira instead of just getting control time. Yeah, like, he had the best performance and he kicked his fucking legs out. Rakic did the same. Who has the best leg kicks in UFC? Pereira has the best leg kicks. He'll destroy that leg. He did show decent leg kick defense in the Rakic fight, but he did get his leg slightly destroyed in that fight too. Like, his leg was red as fuck, and I know it naturally goes red when you get hit, but you know, you can't take that many leg kicks off Pereira. And as well, where's this fight? T-Mobile Arena, so it's not Salt Lake City, so it's not gonna be like him getting ragdolled and can't get up because he's knackered. I think we need to stop going Salt Lake. Yeah. As well, is like Pereira's jab to the body too. That is grotesque. Have you seen the close up where it's like when he's hitting people, and it's like there's no commentary. It's like cage side, like video audio, and you can just hear like a jab to the body and it echoes through the arena. That is horrible. That is a grotesque noise. And you know what? I might go with Pereira on this one. Like, he did show decent takedown defense against Blachowicz, but at the exact same time, it's almost like Blachowicz was just trying to just hold him there, almost like he was just like didn't want nothing to do with his striking, which is fair enough. I'd probably do the same, but it's more like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really like grapple him. He just sort of like just held him there and just landed a few decent shots. From what I can remember of watching that fight, Blachowicz in the first round won because he grappled him. Second round and third round, Pereira won. But if the third round could have went Blachowicz's way if he just literally tappy shotted him on the floor. 3 tappy shots on the floor, like stomach shots, would have beaten him. So that's what I'm basing this fight off. Yeah, I'd love to see the second fight if he beats ULBERG, but we'll go into that. Yeah, I'm going to choose Pereira. I think the leg kick's going to be too much. The body jab is just a nightmare. As well, Ankalaev, his cardio was a bit questionable, especially from that Blachowicz fight. It wasn't a good performance, I get it, because it was like very short notice, but it wasn't a good performance from him. And the sort of the similar fighters, Blachowicz and Pereira. I just hope that Glover has been just teaching him takedown defense like fuck, so he can actually defend takedowns off Ankalaev. But going on to the co-main event, GEATHJE versus Hooker. I've never been that like high on GEATHJE. He's always just been a big fucking bulldog brawler with good leg kicks, good power. But in terms of technique, he's never been like that super high level. He gets taken down, he's like a fish out of water. I think Hooker would win. I think this is like a clear one. He's just coming off a KO loss too. But Hooker's having very close fights. And you got to think GEATHJE against the last like up and comer outside of the top 5 against Fiziev. He did cut his face open. Again, it was a close fight, and you can argue Fiziev won that, but I'd say GEATHJE did win that. Hooker's looking good recently. He beat Jalen Turner, but like Jalen Turner's always weight drained. He needs to stop uh, weight bullying people. You know what I mean? Not even weight bullying, but like straight up, just you're fighting in the wrong weight class, pal. Because when you went up to welterweight, you got knocked the fuck out. You need to move back up to welterweight, pal. But Hooker, I reckon Hooker's gonna win this. He's a long rangey striker. We saw what Max Holloway did as a long rangey striker. The jab to the body as well would be, if Hooker was smart, which he isn't exactly the smartest sounding person in the world, but if Hooker is smart, he will use that body jab and maybe come up with right hooks and stuff, right straights and stuff, a bit like Holloway did as well. He should be watching that Holloway fight as a person who's similar frame as Holloway and be like, I'm following that game plan. If he's smart, but I feel like he will get into a war with him, maybe in the last round or something. But I'm choosing Hooker just purely off like he's more technically better, and Gaethje's literally just a big fucking dog and just wings at you, which is fair enough. It works, but yeah, not everyone is Tony Ferguson and likes to use his face as defense. Yeah, I'm choosing Hooker. I think this will be a decision. I didn't even say this fight. I reckon around 2 or 3 TKO for Pereira. Moving on to Topuria versus Volkanovski 2, 3/14 April, Miami. I'd much rather see Diego Lopez and Volkanovski fight for like an interim belt. Yeah, and these comments, I love Volk, but he has been KO'd twice in a row. We want like a Lopez or an Evloev. Not an Evloev. Evloev should be fighting Volk in a title eliminator, and maybe Lopez should be fighting Topuria. I know everyone hates Topuria. I don't know why. Like, I keep seeing these edits on like fucking Instagram reels and like in TikTok when I actually go on the app, because it's absolutely fucking terrible. But when I go on these apps, all I see is like only one man can save, and it's like an edit of fucking like Islam Makhachev or Diego Lopez. Like, save you from what? Entertaining fights, cool KOs, fucking like back wars with like Holloway. Like, save you from what? Tell me you don't like watching Topuria. I love watching Topuria. Just people just don't like just Topuria for like no reason other than he's just knocking out everyone's favourite fighters. Like, Volkanovski is my favourite fighter. For like my own training, I watch Volkanovski. I like to say I use most of my stuff from Volkanovski, but I don't hate Topuria. He knocked out technically my favourite fighter, I guess. And I don't hate Topuria. I love watching him fight. But if you want someone to beat Topuria, you should be all rooting for Lopez. Someone who can sort of just like KO him before he's got his reads is essentially what I'm trying to say, but I fuck up my words way too much. If you want someone to beat Topuria, it's got to be via finish. You ain't taking him to a decision. Like, I feel like as well, because they're trying to make UFC Spain, they will just rob him. And as well as that, if you do take him to the unlikely chance that this man takes anyone to a decision other than Josh Emmett of all people, but there again he is hard to finish. But the chance is of Topuria and Lopez going to a decision is so unlikely, and someone is getting KO'd. And if you want Topuria to lose, it's a first round KO to Lopez. When he hasn't got his reads, he's still getting into the fight, and he can just like blitz it and just maybe knock him down. I could definitely see Topuria getting knocked down by Lopez. Instead, we got Volkanovski, who, let's be real, this is not like, it's still high level MMA, but Volkanovski is out of his prime. But as well as that, we are just forgetting that Volkanovski is the hardest fight for Topuria in terms of round by round, because you're not gonna, these city kickboxing guys, yeah, and freestyle, because they're both connected gyms, you're not going, let's be real, you're not going to outpoint them. And it's like, oh well, he got outpaced in his last fight. Obviously he did. He wasn't like, did you literally look at his interviews? His interview was literally, I am waiting for a Pacific moment. After the fight, I was waiting to get a long combination because Volk backs up with his chin wide open to be smacked. which is true, and he got the KO because of that. But I do think Volkanovski's in and out style, sort of like on the outside, kicking, jabbing, and then coming into the clinch, was a great game plan in the first fight. You just need to stay off that fence. And I don't think he stays off that fence for long. And you got to think Topuria's at the confidence he's ever been at. He's just KO'd Volkanovski, a goat, and he's KO'd Max Holloway, a granite chin. Should be fighter of the year. Pereira fought fucking Jamal Hill, Yuri, and Roundtree. None of those fighters compare to Volkanovski, in my opinion, top 5 GOAT, and Holloway, a top 10 GOAT, I'd say, because he's got really underrated wins, by the way. Look at his record when you've got the chance. He's got some mad good wins. But yeah, I think this fight would go pretty much the same. Second round KO, Volkanovski piecing him up again, and then he'll just use his footwork, get on the outside, and then, yeah, long combination, knock him out cold again. And it'll be sad to watch. We should have got like a tune-up fight, like an Evloev or a Lopez maybe. And then, because you've got to think about it this way, everyone's calling Volkanovski washed, which is a fair assessment to make, to be honest. But if let's say if Volkanovski fought Evloev, beats him, could beat him, honestly, I'd favour him to beat him. And then so it's like, oh, he's not washed. And now there's hype going into the Topuria fight. Or if you beat like a Lopez, who stylistically he should beat, but Lopez has got that power. Yeah. So if he beat either of them two, and then goes into the Topuria fight, then there's hype there. But like with this, we know he's gonna get KO'd again. Yeah, we know he's gonna get KO'd again. It's gonna be sad to watch. But yeah, moving on to UFC London, which I forgot I did this. You should just see the feet. We're disgusting. You got, look at these faces, pal. So we got fucking Leon Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena. It's the way they're just dead ass looking at you is terrifying. That's why I'm laughing. But yeah, we got Leon Edwards, a long rangy striker, uses kicks a lot, never really uses hands much, never really. He's been rocked by good decent pressure boxers many times. His chin's a bit questionable. He's been rocked by Nate Diaz of all people. And then we've got nukes for hands over here, as MMA Guru would say. Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, I think this is not even a question. I'm going with Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, just straight up Jack Della Maddalena due to, like, you're going to think about it this way. Who did Leon Edwards just lose to? A pressure boxer with takedowns. Who is Jack Della? A pressure boxer with no takedowns, but hella power. And in moments, Leon Edwards got rocked by Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad of all people. Bilal Muhammad. But yeah, I think as well he's going to be so unconfident coming into this fight. Unless he changes his entire style and just rushes him. I do think he might struggle a bit in the first round, Jack Della. He is similar. Kevin Holland and Leon Edwards are similar like sort of style. I don't want to say styles because Kevin Holland just quits after any sort of like war. He just quits. And Leon Edwards is also kind of the same, but like he doesn't necessarily quit, but he gets frustrated kind of quickly, and he just sort of like almost gives up. He hasn't got sort of that like dog in him. Like you gotta think about it this way. Like, Gilbert Burns and Jack Della Maddalena, he was not losing that fight. Anyone who says that you are retarded. He clearly won the first round. No, he clearly won the second round, and he clearly was a 50-50 round in the first. And in the third round, it came to that round. The judges scored that 2-0 to Gilbert Burns. That is retarded. We need new judges because they don't know how to score fights. But Jack Della, I've got Jack Della pressure boxing. You got to think about it as well. Leon Edwards struggled against like people like, well, not struggle, but he's been caught by pressure boxers such as Bilal Muhammad. I can't believe he lost to Bilal Muhammad, man. Like, if he lost to Shavkat, at least we could like be like, well, he lost to Shavkat. You know what I'm saying? Shavkat, we know that he's not that good, but at the time we thought he was like the new dark horse of the division. But like back then, we could have been like, oh, well, if he lost to Shavkat, he lost to Shavkat. You know what I'm saying? And I do think Jack Della beat Shavkat, but Bilal Muhammad. And then you got to think, he got rocked by Nate, he was literally just a boxer with jiu-jitsu. And then he got, well, it was not competitive, but he got caught in moments by Pereira. So I've got to choose Jack Della Maddalena. I don't think this is even a hard fight. I think he'll get a round 3 TKO, if I'm honest. Lena just kind of chinny, he'll be low confidence. Yeah. But moving on to the co-main of this event, which is Jan Blachowicz and ULBERG. Like I said for the Pereira one, Blachowicz has the best fight against Pereira at altitude, and ULBERG is for Volkanovski and Manifield. He's got one loss in his record, which is due to what's he called, Neneji Nachukwu. I cannot pronounce these names. Do not bully me. These names are hard to say. I'm choosing Jan Blachowicz, realistically thinking about this. Blachowicz had the best fight against Pereira. Leg kicks are mental. He's got decent boxing and takedowns. You can mix it all in. I'll be honest, I can't remember Carlos ULBERG's last fight for the life of me. I should have watched his fight before making this, but I just wanted to get this quickly out there. As well, you got to look at the stats here on the side. 6'2", 6'4", but he's got a 77-inch reach, 78-inch reach, 44-inch leg reach, 43.5 leg inch reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying. I do think this is a very bad, like, not a bad step up, but it's like a step up in competition, but maybe too high a step of competition. Like, what ranking is Volkanovski? I don't think he's like super high. Let me go on the UFC app on my phone. I feel like he's like top 10, maybe just above. Like heavyweight. So Carlos ULBERG is number 6. Ozdemir is number 9. So he's going from fighting the number 9 fighter in the world to fighting the number 3 ranked fighter in the world. I think this might be even an easy choice. I'm choosing Blachowicz. I think it'll be a close fight. If it's a 5-rounder, I'm probably still going to go with Blachowicz. But I think it's a 3-rounder, even though it's a core-main event and should be a 5-rounder for like a legit title eliminator. I think this will be. No, because the winner will be fighting Yuri. Imagine Blachowicz versus Yuri, by the way. That would be a class fight. You know what? I'm going Blachowicz. I think the winner should fight Yuri for a title. And that fight should have been made ages ago, before Pereira was like still just some nobody on the prelims. Who beat Pereira, beat Izzy that one time. I was trying to make a joke, but I fucked my words up, as I always do. Yeah. And then after this, we could probably get like Yuri versus Blachowicz, and then you can have ULBERG versus Hill, or ULBERG, or Hill versus Roundtree is not a bad fight. We've just seen what Roundtree can do to the champion, and then get brutally walked around the ring and KO'd. But yeah, I think these are really good fights that have been sort of announced. Like, this is official, this is official, this is official, this is official. This is not so official. I have just shown that on my For You page. What do you call it? My home page, and I've just thought I'd get this up. Yeah. I think as well, Diego Lopez and Yair Rodriguez is being amazed. Why? But I'm not going to go into that one. These are great fights that have been made so far. Volkanovski Topuria in UFC 14 is in the works. It's not officially announced. Don't get on my ass if it's not announced. I'm just putting it out there. These people literally just put, oh, this fight's announced in the workings, and it never gets announced. But it could just be like in the back room, and then one of them saying no. But fair enough. It's not my choice to make, is it? Well, that'll be the end of the video then, because there's nothing really else to put. On the London card, we got Molly McCann versus Nunes. I don't know who I'd choose in that. Menefield, who lost to ULBERG. Jai Herbert's like severely underrated. Martian Tybura versus Mick Parkham will be a good fight. Tybura is a very underrated heavyweight. Yeah, he's fat, but he's actually like a decent one. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Kavanagh versus Felipe Dos Anjos. He gets hit a little bit too much for me liking, so I'm gonna have to go with Kavanagh. Christian Leroy Duncan is on the card against this guy who's kind of whited out, so I'm guessing he's not like high. I bet he's not even in the UFC. He's just been announced. He's probably like a contender series fighter. Shauna Bannon versus the Indian lass, which is like 4'8" or something crazy. And then we've got Nathaniel Wood versus Sharia. Am I saying that right? I always see these names pop up and never ever actually learn to pronounce the names. Nathan Fletcher versus Loughran. These names, man, just can people not just have normal fucking names? It's so hard to pronounce these names. But the cards are fucking class, to be fair. A 313 is actually a bit weak, other than the co-main and main. I think a good fight you can add is Jose Aldo. Yeah, Jose Aldo versus Corey Sanhagen, like MMA Guru's just made a new video saying that. That would be a class fight to put on. Fiziev, Gamrot Tulo, good fight, but not on that card. I think we need more higher, like higher weight classes on it to sort of like build up. Like maybe put like they should have put ULBERG and Blachowicz on that fight. You can maybe have beef at the press conference, but it's alright. It's alright. But yeah, these are the fights that have been announced. Leave your comments and any like suggestions of like who you think's gonna win and all that type of stuff. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more active. I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. But yeah, that is literally just my early predictions on these announced fights and semi-announced fights in Volkanovski Topuria.